Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Ted O'Neill, and my talk today is called Where is Your Circle and What is Your Influence? And I'm sorry that I can't be there in person, and if you're watching this video, it means I can't even be there virtually because we've had some kind of technology problem. But I'm very optimistic about technology. And before I continue, I would like to thank the committee for inviting me to speak with you today. I really appreciate it. I had a lovely visit to UKSW in Salatiga twice before, so this will be my first virtual visit. Well, let's go ahead and get started. In my abstract, I talked a little bit at first about some of the negative behavior that we see on social media and on the internet. But what I'd actually like to talk about is the much more positive influence that I think you can have. You, me, all of us, by making better choices about where we choose to communicate online and what we choose to do. The background of this is something called digital citizenship, and you may have seen some of these ideas before of digital rights and responsibilities, what we need to do as good users of the internet. And I'm going to try and be a good user and share with you, something happened, and share with you these slides. The address is bit.ly IUC2018 and my name O'Neill. So you can download these slides and look at them later, especially there will be some internet addresses later. Digital citizenship is a very good start, and here's another definition. I think one of the issues here is they're referring to a person. Right? So what do we do as individuals when we're online, and how does that make things better or worse? What we often hear these days is that the internet is bad, Facebook is bad, Twitter is bad, kids are bad, the internet is making them worse, and especially Facebook is making them worse. Now, for an American like myself, it's sometimes easy to believe that this is true these days. But actually, I really do think that things are going to get better, and they're getting better right now, and I believe that you will make them better. So in my talk, I want to remind people of a few things, remind ourselves of a few things that should make us feel better, tell a story, a little bit of history, give some examples, and set some goals or some ideas that we can use when using the internet. So, something that I often have to remind myself of, especially when I'm having trouble, is that everything that can end will end. Right? Everything that can end will end. And that includes things like not Twitter, not Facebook. I don't think they're going to end, but perhaps their dominance will end, or their importance will end. If we go back, so here we are in 2018. Twitter made a profit for the very first time, a very small profit. We're not sure that Twitter's really going to be able to continue the way it was. And I think these last few years have been difficult. Twitter only reached 300 million users in 2015. So from 2006, when Twitter started, it took 10 years to get to 300 million users. Facebook only started in 2004 and only became open to the public, to non-university users, in 2006. And this is also an important change, to change from just university students to the entire public. Wikipedia started in 2001. And if we go all the way back to 1992 is when we had the first web browsers. So if we look, there's actually, the history goes quite a ways back, and the things we're having problems with today are relatively new. And change seems to be getting faster. I would not be surprised to see something new in these next couple of years. So, Twitter, 12 years old, that's 48 quarters. Only 2 of those business quarters have been profitable. Will it continue to dominate? And Facebook, I think, will be important for a very long time, but they're facing their own problems and changes. So, how did we get here? Many ways, but I'd like to tell you a story that I learned recently, actually. So, in the United States, school starts in September each year. So, kids go to school, first day of school, it's crazy. And it takes a while. The first month of school, you have to learn how to be a student. You have to learn how to behave. You have to learn the rules and the norms of behavior. But it only happens once a year, right? Okay. The same thing used to happen on the internet. It used to be you needed to be at a university, you needed to be a student or a teacher to get internet access very easily. So every September, there would be a new group of users that would come in, and they would cause some problems, but the number of new users was smaller than the number of existing users, and they came in once a year, and you could teach them. In the social media tools at that time, Usenet and email, you could teach the newbies how to behave, right? It would take about a month, and then it would get quiet. People would either learn the rules or they would leave. This all changed in 1993 with something called Eternal September. At that time, all of a sudden, basically everybody began to get access to the internet. And they would get access all the time. So instead of newbies coming in once a year, every day was September. And there were newbies joining all of the time. And there were a lot of them, because it was no longer just university users, it was everybody. It overwhelmed the moderation and the number of veteran users who had some rules. Now, if we look at Twitter and Facebook, these are just too large, and new people coming in all the time, right? Remember, Facebook opened from university students only to the general public in 2006. All of a sudden, everybody could come in. And there was basically, effectively no moderation, right? Moderation comes from a community agreement on rules of behavior. And Twitter and Facebook, their values are essentially to make a profit. And as long as that is the value, then there will be no effective moderation. But we need to look at, there are alternatives out there that do have moderation and do have good control over their culture. So who does? Who does? Some people will hate this, but I actually believe that, that LinkedIn is one of the best social media communities from the point of view of moderation and a shared community culture and good behavior online. LinkedIn is a large profit-making company, just like Twitter and Facebook. It's owned by Microsoft now. But essentially, everyone in this site is a moderator. Because everybody is using this site to look for jobs. That was one of my colleagues walked by. So everyone who's on here is monitoring and moderating the behavior of everyone else. So if you go here, you won't find the kind of arguing and abuse and disruptive behavior that we see on Twitter and Facebook. Moderation is the key. This is a site that I use. It's called MetaFilter. You have to join. That costs $5 for a lifetime membership. So what that does is it keeps the numbers smaller, right? You have to really want to join. And that means that it makes moderation possible. And we have people that is their job. It's a full-time professional job to moderate the discussion on a website and tell people when they're being rude. Stop people from having stupid arguments. This is something to look for in the future in other websites. Other websites are going to start to follow this model, that there are paid moderators who keep the discussion positive and civil. And it's not censorship, it's not control, because it comes from the values of the community members, the people who join here. And on the internet, there can be as many communities as we want. There can be an infinite number of them. So there's always a community available for you or for somebody. If I was there, I would ask you, who has heard of Mastodon? Well, maybe I'll ask you anyway, so you can see your other conference goers. Who has heard of Mastodon? Has anybody used Mastodon? Okay, I really suggest you look it out. Look for it. It's an alternative to Twitter, and it's free. It used to be you needed millions of dollars to set up a company like Twitter or Facebook. This is free software that anybody can download, and anybody can create their version of Twitter by using Mastodon. Okay? So this is the kind of force that's going to disrupt. Twitter needs to make money all the time. Mastodon doesn't. Okay? It can be set up by any group of users. And when you make a group, you can talk to the whole world of Mastodon, hundreds of thousands of users, or you can talk to your local community. So I'm a member of a group. We only have 848 users, but it's for professors and researchers. It's called scholar.social. It was on my first slide. I don't need to talk to 100,000 professors. If I could talk to 800 professors, that is a lot of communication and a lot of expertise and a lot of knowledge that I can get. Right? Small scale, tight communities with moderation give me much more value than large open groups where new people come in all the time and keep causing trouble. Wikipedia. People think of Wikipedia as an encyclopedia, which it is, and as a source of information, something to help you do your homework, maybe. But what it really is, also, is a social network. Writers make the pages. Editors fix them and improve them. They have to agree about how to run the website. It's a not-for-profit group. It's been around longer than Facebook and Twitter. And I really recommend, if nothing else from this talk, I really recommend you visit Simple English Wikipedia. It's particularly good for students who are studying English or studying in English. And you can see right at the top, what are the rules? The rules are made by the members for the members. Advice, please do not bite the newcomers. They have a plan for how to welcome new people in. So it's not eternal September. Okay? And there's a lot of help here for students and for teachers. Okay. The other thing that's important about Simple English Wikipedia is the scale. We've made an awful lot of web pages. Recent users, only 1,000. And of those 1,000, about 300 are really active, and 19 administrators or moderators. This is a small community that produces a lot of good work and can really know each other and work together. So as I get ready to wrap up, what is your circle? Where is your influence? As you go out in the internet world, new things are going to come along all the time. And when you find your circle that you can contribute to and participate in, then you can make a positive effect on that. The two examples I've cited are Mastodon and Simple English Wikipedia. New things are coming all the time, and as they come, keep looking for these two things. Size. Is it the size of a small town or the size of the whole world? And moderation. Are there some guides who can help keep the discussion positive? I have my references here at the end, but again, you can download these slides and check them anytime you would like. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for listening. Thank you for inviting me. And I hope we get the technology going again so that I can take a few questions.